10 Classified CIA Experiments Beyond Reality. The CIA's U.S. Scientific Intelligence Division of the 1950s and 1960s studied phenomena in physics, chemistry, biology, medicine, and astronomy. Its scientists worked on the development of chemical and bacteriological weapons, electronics, telecommunications, and even tracked down UFOs. During this time, thousands of people passed through the CIA and its experiments, some of whom became mentally ill and some of whom died. The CIA destroyed much of its secret documents that could have shed light on the truth. Most of the surviving documentary evidence, however, has never been declassified. The U.S. government invested millions of dollars in CIA programs. Psychics and people with paranormal abilities were involved in the research of this department. Many of the unique and aggressive experiments in which they participated were successful. 1. The superhuman abilities of the Chinese man Zhan Baochen. This man claimed to be able to move objects through walls. As confirmation of this fact, the CIA conducted experiments caught on video. In one of them, a Chinese man mysteriously extracts pills from a sealed bottle. It was filmed on a camera at 400 frames per second. When the video was slowed down, a single 1/400 second frame was seen in which the pill was halfway out of the bottle, passing through the glass without breaking it. 2. The psychic described the history of Mars. In 1984, the CIA decided to conduct an experiment to expose psychics as frauds. One such person was asked to remotely describe a place on Earth indicated on a card. But in the meantime, it said, Planet Mars. 1,000,000 years BC. To the surprise of the agents, the psychic man began describing pyramids, obelisks, mountain slopes, and a large sun. He also described large, skinny people in strange robes. He added that those were looking for a new home as they were dying. Later he sadly added that everything was happening in space. 3. The CIA was in contact with police officers who were solving cases with the psychics. According to their reports, 8 out of 11 police officers received information which they could not get through normal channels. In 3 of the cases, they claimed the psychics had found the missing bodies. Based on this, the CIA wrote a manual on the use of psychics to solve crimes, noting that their comments were general in nature and required further deciphering. 4. The CIA used psychics in hostage-taking situations. By 1983, the CIA had conducted 700 missions involving psychics. In 85% of cases, the information obtained from them was accurate. During the hostage-taking in Iran, the psychics were asked to determine the location of the hostages. The data was later compared with the present situation. The psychics also reported on the movements of the militants. 5. Telekinesis. The CIA was interested in telekinetic abilities and teleportation. Information on such cases was particularly classified, which indicates their success. For example, the CIA conducted experiments to test the supernatural abilities of magician Uri Geller. In the course of his experiments, Geller bent a strip of metal 10 degrees. The CIA also worked with a 13-year-old boy named Stephen, who was able to bend aluminum with willed effort. In another experiment, a man named Jean-Pierre Girard could voluntarily change the thickness of a strip of metal without bending it. 6. Remote viewing. The CIA forced psychics to read information from sealed envelopes in various remote locations. The psychics described the buildings where the papers were kept, the size and color of the books, and even the people who wrote them. The descriptions were quite accurate. After their experiments, the CIA was quite confident that they could use the phenomenal abilities of such people to view the enemy's secret documents. 7. Healers and the thermal aura. There is a letter in the CIA archives saying that healers are real people. It was about Kirlianography, developed by Semyon Kirlian. The scientists discovered that if you put an object on a photographic plate and connect it to a high-voltage source, it would leave an image of its electrical areola. A certain healer A. Krivorotov visited Kirlian, and he tried his method on him. The areola around the healer's finger was just unbelievable in size. Also, electric resistance of Krivorotov's hands was much greater than that of an ordinary person. And the heat they released was 50 degrees Celsius. Scientifically, it is believed that Krivorotov had a strong electric field, which changed the processes in the body and generated heat. 8. Flashes in the sun and psychic abilities. The CIA had been conducting research on enhancing psychic abilities with electromagnetic radiation for many years. The best results were obtained during solar flares. On the day when there were solar flares, psychics gave inaccurate predictions and made a lot of mistakes in their answers. But 24 hours after the end of the flare, their abilities increased, and they gave high readings. 9. Predicting the future. Some psychics in the CIA were capable of predicting what would happen in the future. The department used such people in military operations. Many such experiments are still under a seal of secrecy. One of the CIA's most talented psychics correctly predicted when airstrikes would begin during Operation Desert Storm. He predicted the Iraqi invasion of Saudi Arabia 15 days in advance. 10. Russia and China. The USSR and China were also interested in human psychic abilities and conducted their own experiments in this field. In Russia, the KGB was involved. It is assumed that the Soviet intelligence did even more than the US CIA with the Stargate program. It is reasonable to assume that other governments also conducted and are still conducting their own experiments in the field of the paranormal.